Hey ladies and gents, welcome back to my channel, thank you for coming back. So it's finally time, ladies and gents, the 2021 award season is finally over. It's now time for me to give you my early Oscar predictions for the 2022 season in the Best Picture category. So I'm just gonna run through all of the films that I think will be big contenders in general, and then I'm gonna have smaller separate videos for the acting categories, and then like a whole video for the technicals. You get the picture. So I'm not gonna waste your time with this. So I've kind of been toying about with like my top three. Really, any of these can be my number one, but I've settled with House of Gucci currently being my number one. This is a Ridley Scott film starring Adam Driver, Lady Gaga, Jared Leto, Al Pacino, Jeremy Irons, Jack Hudson, and Selma Hayek. Darius Wolski, who worked on News of the World, is the cinematographer for this film. It's edited by Claire Simpson, who was last nominated for The Constant Gardener. I really think this is going to be Ridley Scott's go at the Oscars. He's tried it before he was snubbed for a nomination at the Oscars in director. He's tried and tried again. I feel like this may be his lucky break. Obviously, we're very early to the season. Last year, I would have had probably Defy Bloods at my number one, and look how that turned out. Despite the fact it was a great film, let's remember. This is about Patricia Regina, who was tried and convicted for orchestrating an assassination on her ex-husband, who was the former head of the Gucci fashion house. Yeah, I'm sure if you're watching this and you're around my age, we're all familiar with Gucci. It's like the wanted clothing line to have. Again, I have my TV on, I apologise. I really think this could just be an awards darling, and it looks like the type of film that can get a lot of nominations. I could see a nomination in Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, maybe a lead. Maybe we could have like a four-way acting nominations in lead. The lead going to Adam Driver, and Lady Gaga and supporting go to Jared Leto or Al Pacino, or even Jeremy Irons, and then supporting actress going to Salma Hayek. This could get cinematography, could definitely get editing. I'd really watch out for this one. This could be an awards darling. It's like one of those cakes you get and you take a bite, and in the first bite you feel sick because it's just so kind of strong and pure. I feel like this can be that cake in award season. My number two is Nightmare Alley. This is Guillermo del Toro's first film since he won an Oscar for Best Picture and Director for The Shape of Water, so you've obviously got to take note of that. This stars Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, Toni Collette, Rooney Mara, David Strathairn, and Willem Dafoe. It is a psychological thriller about a ambitious carny with a talent for manipulating people with well-chosen words, who hooks up with a female psychiatrist who is even more dangerous than he is. So, and yes, I am reading that off of Wikipedia, so don't come at me. So this film very much feels like it's following in the same veins as Shape of Water, like a thriller fantasy film. It's obviously just looking at these stills. I'm almost certain it's going to get in for makeup, costumes, and production design. It can maybe even win. It really looks like a real strong technical film. This could also maybe... I can't see this being like a very strong actors film. Shape of Water got snubbed for SAG Ensemble at the SAG when it got 3 nominations. So it just shows that sometimes Guillermo del Toro films just don't usually do that strong for acting, except from Shape of Water. I'd say the most likely nomination will be Cate Blanchett in supporting actress, because I've heard many say that she is looking like the lead, but from the research I've done and people who I've heard talk about the film, they've said who've read the book, she's like very much a supporting character in the book, and if the film's anything like the book, then that's what we can expect. We can also get for cinematography, Dan Laustin's back. This and Alexander Desplat's doing the music, and the Oscars love him. So, like House of Gucci, I feel like this is going to be a strong technical film, and I'd definitely keep an eye on it up until basically it comes out. I really feel like this can be another strong one coming next award season. My number 3 is Canterbury Glass. This is David O. Russell, who's never really had issues of getting into the Oscars since The Fighter. Yes, he did have a hiccup with Joy, but even Joy was able to get in for Best Leading Actress, and Joy just wasn't that great of a film, which probably has a lot to do with that. But this film, on the other hand, has a stellar cast, including Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Rami Malek, Zoe Saldana, Robert De Niro, Mike Myers, Michael Shannon, Chris Rock, Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah, that's a very strong cast. It is a period film about a doctor and a lawyer who form an unlikely partnership in the 1930s. That sounds like a very strong Oscar plot from that alone. Like I said, it's David O. Russell. The music and lyrics is by Hilda G. I'm not going to try and say her surname because I will butcher it up. And she obviously won an Oscar, not this year, but last year for Joker. We have Emmanuel Lubezki, a fantastic cinematographer coming in for this film. My number 4 is Soggy Bottom, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. Now, Paul Thomas Anderson's either very hit or miss with the Academy. Nonetheless, even with films that are inaccessible like Inherent Vice, he can still get a nomination for writing for adapted screenplay. For Phantom Thread, where nobody else cared about it at all, the Oscars nominated it in director and picture. So I think it's fair to say at this point that Paul Thomas Anderson is an Academy darling. They clearly pay attention to the man and love him greatly. And get this right. Not much has been said about the plot, but this stars Cooper Hoffman, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, Bradley Cooper as like a madman, and everyone's favourite director, Benny Safdie. So this film has a lot of meat to it already just from the cast and the director alone. It's being distributed by United Artists, who don't have too bad of an Oscar track record. I wouldn't say it's like very impressive, but nothing to be worried about, I guess you could say. So that's all we kind of got to go with at the moment. It's set to be released this year, and there are production images out which show that which shows obviously there's some sort of progress in. Whether they'll be able to complete it in time for awards season, and also if COVID-19 gets in the way, is obviously also something to consider for all of these films. But I'd say it's looking likely that if COVID stays at a moderate level, we will see it this year in some shape or form. So I'm going to keep it on this list. So I know that Twitter at the moment is that kind of a bit of a conflict with this film, so what a better time to talk about it. But my number 5 is In the Heights. So from the press screenings, people are saying it is one of the best musicals ever made. No joke. In terms of films, I mean, some people have seen the play, and from the people who've seen the play, they say that Olga Meredith has a good chance from playing this character of getting an actress nomination in supporting. It could happen. I am a little bit pessimistic about that due to the fact, obviously, La La Land got it okay, but La La Land's a bit more than just a musical. Musicals, as a general rule of thumb, don't always get into the acting race, especially if they're kind of like, hey, get up and dance musicals like this is meant to be. Nonetheless, this is Lin-Manuel Miranda, who everybody adores. This is probably going to be the film that, like, when COVID-19 hopefully, please God, settles down and we get back to normal life, this is going to be the film that thrives people to go to the cinemas. It's going to help the box office bounce back. Everyone's going to have seen, everyone's going to love it. I really think that this can make it throughout the whole of award season and get a nomination. I really feel like it can. And the more I think about it, and the more I look at it and I see more people talk about it, just the more confident I get. I really feel like this really can get in. Next up, I have Next Goal Wins, which is Taika Waititi's upcoming film that he's co-written and directed. His co-writer is Ian Morris, who has worked on, by the looks of things, a lot of TV. This actually may be his film debut, by the looks of things. So this film will star Michael Fassbender as a Dutch-American football coach, or soccer coach, whatever you want to call it, who is tasked with turning the American Samoa national team, considered one of the weakest football teams in the world, into an elite squad. So that already has a proper, like, Oscar baity story to it. You know, everyone loves a feel good, you know, being like the underdog and like coming out on top. Who doesn't just love that? And the Academy really loved that. This has also got Elizabeth Moss in. She could get a supporting actress nomination. It does have Armie Hammer in, which may not be the best. I hate to have to bring it up, but that may not be the best for the film's Oscar chances, and it does make me a little bit worried for it, but I'm sure it'll be okay. I mean, like, you know, Kevin Spacey was in Baby Driver, and it didn't stop Baby Driver from doing decent at the Oscars, considering the type of film it is. And he seems like a small supporting character, so I can't see that being too much of an issue. And, you know, obviously, Taika Waititi's won recently. He's shown himself to be a very talented, feel-good writer and director, which the Academy love. Some people are, like, so certain this is going to get in. Other people are more pessimistic. I'm kind of in the middle. My number 7 is Dune. Now, a part of me feels like this could just be an absolute Oscar slam dunk, nominations everywhere. The most nominations of the bunch. I could definitely see that being the case. However, Dune has been really kind of like been hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped, and then it got delayed, so it's even got even more people to get hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped to have these expectations. If Dune isn't phenomenal, I'm not sure this will get in at the end of the day, because it seems like one of those films that you're really gonna have to like love in order to feel like it's gonna get these Oscar chances. Because like, don't forget, the Academy aren't like proper like film buff like us for the most part. They like their very particular films, especially in very department particular places like makeup and like costumes and all that. So that could really affect its chances. However, it is directed by Denis Villeneuve, who is an incredible director. Very rarely does he fail at striking hard at the Oscars. It's also got probably... This could easily be a SAG Ensemble winner, because it's got Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac, Rebecca Ferguson, Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, Javier Bardem, Charlotte Rampling, and Stellan Skarsgård. So that's gonna help this film massively at like with the actors at the Screen Actors Guild, for example, because that is one hell of a cast. But I feel like in order for this to get in at the end of the day, it will have to be great in order to get in, because it's really not common for action fantasies to get in. But I feel like this could be it. Like a bit like Blade Runner 2049, even though that didn't get in. But that being said, Blade Runner 2049 had even more of an expectation, and that's quite a divisive film. If this film is just great, and it isn't decisive like Mad Max Fury Road, I think it'll get in at the end of the day. My number 8 is Eternals. Now, I want you to know, I'm not just putting Eternals here because it's Chloe Zhao. She's just won Director and Best Picture at the Oscars. She's like incessantly hyped on film Twitter, etc., etc. I genuinely think Eternals can be the next Black Panther in terms of Oscar buzz, because Eternals seems like it, from the trailer and from what I've heard from interviews, it seems like it's trying to do something new in terms of like how a Marvel film's told. Chloe Zhao has said that they let her do a lot of her own things. Apparently the cinematography, from the very, 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 very few who have seen it, apparently the cinematography is meant to be lush. I can see Eternals having a strong message about kind of like diversity, because this film deals with immortals and the race and who shaped the earth and civilization. That will definitely help his Oscar chances. So whilst there's no like incredibly strong evidence it's going to get nominated, I'm confident now. It's early predictions, like, I won't be too embarrassed if it doesn't make it at the end of the day. I'm going to put it on. My number 9 is Don't Look Up, the new Adam McKay directed and written film starring... Are you ready for this one? Right, so I know I've been saying this a lot. We've actually got quite a few great films with great casting, but this takes the cake for sure, ladies and gents. This has literally been like hyped up as a SAG Ensemble film of next year. Just get a listen to this. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Timothée Chalamet, Cate Blanchett, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Ron Perlman, Matthew Penny, Mark Rylance, Tyler Perry, Ariana Grande. Oh, that's a bit strange, but we'll go with it. Adam McKay with Big Short and Vice didn't feel like the Oscars at all, but Vice overperformed unexpectedly, and The Big Short was nearly a Best Picture winner. So there's that going for it. Obviously, it's got that very spicy cast, which won't like go against it at all. My biggest worry with this film is that whilst The Big Short's about like the Wall Street and how the government failed the US, who doesn't just love relishing in that, and Vice is about kind of how corrupt the vice presidency was at the time. Again, who doesn't love that? This film seems like a film that could be very divisive in terms of how political it is, because some people don't like to be preached about particular things, especially global warming, and for that reason I feel like this film can really piss some people off. It is a Netflix film, and Netflix have done really well at the Oscars the past few years, not so much with wins, however, so I'm not sure if this film's like win dependent, and that's why I haven't got this film higher, because even though you'd think that I would, it just doesn't like have any strong indicators it's going to be a strong winner anywhere. But it's got Adam McKay behind the camera. It's got that stellar cast. The music's done by If Beale Street Could Talk's Nicholas Britell. Its cinematographer is No Time to Die's and La La Land's Lena Sandgren. It's edited by Hank Corwin. So you know what? The more I look at it, the more confident I get. But I'm still gonna keep it at my number 9. My number 10 is Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch. Now, I do put it here at my number 10 reluctantly. Wes Anderson's only, here comes the sun, here comes the sun. Wes Anderson only really ever had luck at the Oscars with the Grand Budapest Hotel. However, I feel like the ties may have been changed for him. He obviously got in at director and picture at the Oscars with Grand Budapest Hotel, so it shows that maybe the ties are changing for him, and the Oscars are now finally paying attention to him. So, judging by the trailer, this is a mix. This is a mixture of a coloured and a black and white film. The production design looks incredible, so I can definitely see it winning there. May obviously Nightmare Alley may show to be competition, but still, it definitely looks like strong competition. Academy favourite clearly by the Oscar win that she just got. Frances McDormand in. Elizabeth Moss, Timothy Chalamet. Wow, he's making a scene this award season. Saoirse Ronan, Lea Seydoux, Tilda Swinton, Adrian Brody, Edward Norton, Christoph Waltz, Willem Dafoe, Owen Wilson, Bill Murray, Rupert Friend, Benicio del Toro, Liev Schreiber, Jason Schwartzman, Jeffrey Wright, Angela Houston, Matthew Armour, the villain from Quantum of Solace, can't say his name. Yeah, so this film has quite the cast, which I feel like I don't feel like this film will be getting nominations anywhere for its cast. Wes Anderson films, his characters, they're not acted badly, but they're very black and white, and they stand and they talk like this, and that just doesn't really account for an Oscar nomination. It's a bit too black and white for the Academy. Coming in at number 11, we have Blonde. This is the new Marilyn Monroe biopic film, which stars Ana de Armas and Adrian Brody. And a lot of you may think, oh, well, this is just going to be another Judy where, just Renee Zellweger and makeup gets in. I might have to disagree with you on this one. This film looks like it could be a lot more than just like another standard biopic where it's just made to get the lead actress an Oscar. Because this is directed by Andrew Dominique, who made Chopper, The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford, Killing Them Softly, One More Time with Feelings. So clearly this guy has a certain style and attitude to him. So for him to just take a film like this and still just call it another standard biopic wouldn't be wise. This actually seems quite out of character for him to make. And I'm actually really excited for this film because it seems like I'm a big Marilyn Monroe fan as it is. So I'm really curious to see his take on it. I definitely think Ana de Armas is getting in for leading actress unless she really f***s it up. And Adrian Brody looks like a strong supporting actor contender. So take that as you will. Coming at number 12, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me for having it this low on the list, but I'm really skeptical on whether the Tragedy of Macbeth actually makes it in at the end of the day. Yes, I know it's Joel Coen, Frances McDormand, and Denzel Washington, who are both playing Lady Macbeth and Macbeth himself. I don't know. We've had so many Shakespeare throwback films in the past forever. And which one of them actually make it into the Oscars? Yes, we had Shakespeare in Love, criminally won Best Picture. But the thing you got to remember about Shakespeare in Love is that it's not just it's a story about Shakespeare. It's a biopic. It's more accessible because of that. This film looks like it could be extremely inaccessible. I have a feeling that Joel Coen actually seems the type of director who would do some weird things with it. It could be black and white. It could be weird. It will be weird. It's Macbeth, but this could be particularly weird. So I don't. But at the same time, if this film's done just right, this could be one of the strongest contenders. So I'm like this, but I'm leaning more towards it just not really being much, to be honest. I'm happy to be proven wrong. At the end of the day, these are early predictions. I'm happy to make fun of myself in the future. I'm completely wrong, but for now, I'm just kind of nah on this one. Coming at number 13 is West Side Story. Now, I kind of feel a bit hesitant putting it this low because every single time that Steven Spielberg's had an Oscar contender, I'm not talking about shit like Ready Player One or the BFG or anything like that. I mean pure Oscar contenders. Even if they don't get many nominations, like The Post only got lead actress, they usually do get a Best Picture nomination because that's just how it goes with Steven Spielberg. He makes very accessible factory films. He's very good at doing that. He's a very good working director. But for the Oscars to go with 2 musicals in one year seems a bit odd because they just don't really do that, I've noticed with them. Not only that though, but West Side Story is a story that's been told before and told a lot better probably. It won 10 Oscars, including Best Picture itself. The only thing it lost was screenplay. So to say that then Steven Spielberg's going to take this classic and remake it and somehow add something new or make it better is a bit ambitious. I still feel like it could get in at the end of the day because it's Steven Spielberg of all people, but I'm hesitant to say that. I don't think Rachel Zegler's going to get in for a lead actress, because if Natalie Wood couldn't make it in for actress at the Oscars that year, I can't see her making it in. Ansel Elgort's probably got no chance. Same goes to Ariana DeBose, Rita Moreno, Maddie Ziegler. None of them have really much of a chance. I feel like this could get in like a lot of places. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be original song that makes it in. Definitely costumes and production design. Maybe score, and maybe it does just creep its way into Best Picture without a director or writing nomination. But for now, I'm just not feeling it, unfortunately. My number 14 is Annette. Now, I'm really not sure. This is a Cannes film, which already makes me a bit hesitant. Yeah, Parasite won at Cannes and went on to win Best Picture, but that was a first. Films that premiere at Cannes, and especially when it's a film like this, can be very weird. And if the Oscars are taught us anything, they don't like weird. This is going to be a film that's 95% music, and it's done by this band called, one second, let me get up, I can't remember the name. So the music, there we go, had to do a bit of research. The music's being done by Sparks with a very original style of music of their own, so that's going to make it all the more bonkers. This could go either two ways. If this film just is great, everyone's praising it, it could be a Black Swan, which fair enough, Black Swan isn't typical Oscar bait, but it's just so great it can't be denied by anybody, so you can't really go against that type of, maybe it could be like that. Adam Driver's going to be fantastic, same with Marion Cotillard. The cinematography looks incredible. I think the score could be one of my favourites of the year, but when it comes to the Oscars, I don't know. My number 15 is Mass. Now this can go two ways. This can be that one film that's like not exactly Oscar bait by any means. It could be a Moonlight. I really think Mass has the opportunity to be Moonlight. It's a very small budget film about kind of like people and emotions, and about kind of, you know, it's, you know, obviously it's a very small film, which, you know, it seems very emotional about kind of like and, you know, very much a people like film, and like how they interact with each other, and about kind of, you know, coming to terms with yourself, a lot like Moonlight. I haven't seen it, unfortunately. I wasn't able to get due to the country I'm in, I wasn't able to get access to Sundance, which I was really disappointed about. But from what I've heard, this has three of like the best performances you'll ever see in a film, which really says something to me. It could then get in for like maybe like, you know, director, writer, picture, and then who knows, I feel like this could be that, like, this could be a Moonlight and like upset and win Best Picture, but very far-fetched in my opinion to say that. But like, I'm just saying there's like a 1% chance that could happen. So, but then there's also the hand of like, what if this film's just too little? The people who have picked this up are Bleecker Street, and they've only been able to amount to one Oscar nomination in their history, which is very scary to me. Could they pull it off with this? Maybe. A bit like how Neon had their big break with Parasite. But it makes me very hesitant. Like, you know, it's not like they can't. Like, they had Supernova last year, and if they campaigned Supernova, Stanley Tucci could have got a nomination, but they just didn't. So I really want this to become something, because it seems like the type of film that would be cool to be seen at the Oscars. But honestly, guys, I'm uncertain, unfortunately. At number 16, we have Aaron Sorkin's new upcoming film, Back to Back. Would you look at that? Being The Ricardos, which is also directed and written. Well, of course he'd write it, but still. Not feeling this one, unfortunately. I feel like he's really shooting himself in the foot by insisting he directs his films from now on. I feel like his best films are like when David Fincher or what's his name, Danny Boyle come in and like kind of really take over things for him and kind of help him out, because, you know, no screenwriter's great, and the problem with Aaron Sorkin, I feel like he's getting bit too big for his boots in terms of, I think he just kind of like finishes his screenplays. He goes, "I'm done. I'm gonna go make a movie," when he really shouldn't be doing that. And that's kind of my problem with Charles Chicago 7. I felt like the first 15 minutes kind of could pick up the pace a little bit. But apart from that, he's a great screenwriter. But with this film, it's already got controversy because Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem look like nothing like the real life people. It doesn't look like as Oscar baity as Charles Chicago 7, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it, because it does have a path where it's great and it does get in, but for now it's just not looking good, unfortunately. Number 17 is Red, White and Water. Now I feel like this can really make a thing out of award season. We have Jennifer Lawrence, who's playing a US soldier who suffers a traumatic brain injury whilst fighting Afghanistan, and she befriends a man played by Brian Tree Henry. My problem with this film is that it's being distributed by A24, who distribute great films, by the way, and obviously they got themselves a win with Moonlight. However, I think we had this example where Waves just wasn't being campaigned anywhere, where where because they were just so focused, because they don't have as much money as other big, just as other companies, so they had to focus all their money on campaigning on gems, which didn't even work then, and they missed out on getting films like Waves nominated, and if A24 is focusing on just distributing other films or campaigning other films, Red, White, and Water just might not make it in at the end of the day. But if it does make it in, it could get in at like even if it's not like a Best Picture player, this is a proper bait to get Jennifer Lawrence a nomination at least. Coming at number 18 is King Richard. This could be Will Smith's triumph back at the Oscars, because it's a biopic film about the father of tennis superstars Venus and Serena Williams, and how they got their coaching from their father, Richard Williams, who's played by Will Smith. That is proper feel-good Oscar bait if I've ever seen it. However, feel-good Oscar bait can go two ways. It can be absolutely appalling shit film no one wants to talk about, everyone is embarrassed to have on their predictions list, or it can go this way where it's completely great and it gets in the Best Picture. This film definitely won't like dominate nominations, or probably like if it does get in Best Picture, the other places it will get in probably, it could even just maybe be just like a leading actor, like original song type of film if that's the case. But I definitely feel like this could be a Best Picture film just because it's just gonna fill you with like if it's good, at least it will just like fill you with just like pure like you know, just like feel good emotions, which the Academy love, and also it's Will Smith, and he has made good films like that before. Pursuit of Happiness being a great example, which he also got a leading actor nomination for. So next up on my list is a film that a lot of people have low on their list. I have it higher because the only thing that's hesitating me from putting it high is the fact it's being distributed by Apple TV, who haven't really, haven't been around for long, and they did okay, and they got a nomination last year with Greyhound. Apart from that, they've just not really got nominations anywhere at the Oscars. But that is Swan Song. This film stars Mahershala Ali, Glenn Close, Naomi Harris, and Awkwafina, about a father and husband who is diagnosed with a terminal illness, and he's basically given the alternative of being made into a clone, so he can like still keep living in the form. Now this film could be like just like one of those like kind of like films where it's like, like all about kind of, and the sun's glaring in my face, yay, right, you're gonna have to excuse the sun for a moment, but this could be like one of those films that it's like all like metaphorical, and it deals with like, should you do that, should you have pride in yourself, and just let yourself go and let your family be and not become this fake thing of you. And I know that the Oscars will get that, but that's the case. I'm curious to see who Glenn Close's character is in this film, because with a cast like Awkwafina, Mahershala Ali, and Naomi Harris, I'm kind of curious. Oh, she's Dr. Scott. Okay, so she's the doctor, basically, probably like proposes this to her. Okay, that makes sense then. So the fact this is a sci-fi drama, which don't often make it in at the Oscars, is one thing. Not only that though, but Apple TV Plus haven't been around for long. They haven't really made the Oscars at all, apart from like a sound nomination for Greyhound. So that kind of makes me hesitant to put it higher. But if they can pull it off right, who knows? Maybe they can pull off a few nominations. Next up, we have drama western being distributed on Netflix called The Harder They Fall. This stars Lakeith Stanfield, Idris Elba, Delroy Lindo, Regina King, Jonathan Majors. So this is more than likely going to be just like a fun like western film. It follows an outlaw who discovers his enemy being released from prison. So you really know sort of a gang that's like proper, not that it's a bad thing by any means. That is like like cliche western shit. Moreover, it has quite the cast. It's very doubtful, but it's nice to see Delroy Lindo getting more like proper work like this. It still breaks my heart. It breaks my heart he didn't get nominated anywhere else, but he didn't get nominated for Defy Bloods on Netflix. But oh well, here you go. At least Delroy Lindo's getting some good proper work. Next up, we have Cyrano with Peter Dinklage as the lead. It's a musical starring Peter Dinklage, which is directed by Joe Wright. Now, Joe Wright has been extremely unlucky when it comes to nominations as director. He hasn't got a single one yet. However, his films do seem to fare well in Best Picture. Even Darkest Hour got in. So that's saying a lot. And this is a musical with Peter Dinklage, so we could get some Best Actor buzz for Peter Dinklage. However, from what I've heard, the play that this is based on is really the weird, so that may just like turn some people away. Not only that, though, we're not even sure like when it's going to come out. The only set release is 6th of January 2022 in the Netherlands, which is never promising in terms of Oscar buzz. So this film kind of seems uncertain, which is why I'm not putting it higher. And then finally, my number 22, and I'm going out on a bit of a bold one here, and I've got it last purely because I wanna talk about, I want to discuss it. So on Music City Drive-In, where I manage their social medias on Twitter, I put out this tweet, and it got a lot of people got replying saying their thoughts, and it was very on the fence. I've got No Time to Die as my number 22. Look, James Bond hasn't been very lucky at the Oscars. He's only ever got below the line nominations. Javier Bardem and Judi Dench got snubbed for supporting actor and actress for Skyfall. They nearly got for Best Picture because they get PGA, but still Skyfall didn't get in. So they haven't been great. They've done all right at winning under the line categories, but that's about as far as it goes. However, No Time to Die has a better incentive. First of all, it's the longest Bond film to date. It's 243 minutes, and the trailer shows that this film's going to be very grand. Now, this film is also Daniel Craig's last tenure as James Bond. It looks like it's going to be doing some new things. It looks like it's going to be a very emotional Bond film. It's got a very strong political message to it. Rami Malek looks like an amazing villain. I really think that this could be the Bond film which like kind of like gets lucky at the Oscars and breaks in. My only hesitation, obviously, no Bond film ever has before, and this would have had to be like the Black Panther, where it's campaigned aggressively, and even still, they may not do well. It may just be another Skyfall where it gets a load of tech nominations, but it's probably not going to happen. But I'm going to say No Time to Die now as kind of like my risky pick, which I don't really see many other people going for. And if I'm wrong, then I've embarrassed myself here. But hey, that's just the name of the game, ladies and gents. Anyway, ladies and gents, those are my first early Oscar predictions for the 2022 season. Disagree with me, agree with me, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, ladies and gents. Please feel free to check out my social medias by scanning these barcodes, going to links in the comments, or following names on your screens. But until next time, ladies and gents, so long for now.